Hello everyone and welcome. I'm getting ready to sell this, my 13-inch M1 powered MacBook Pro that I got in January of last year, and I thought, well, this is probably the best laptop I've ever owned, or among the very best I've ever owned. What better way to send it off than do a quick review 1 year into ownership, actually 1.5 years nearly into ownership at this point, and discuss the coolest things about this laptop. What are the most interesting features, what I've used, and technically answer the question, should you still be considering one of these today? The first thing I want to talk about is the design. Now, I know it looks a little bit dated. The screen bezels kind of show that pretty much. It's a 2017 design, but I still think looks absolutely cool today. The fit and finish of this thing has been absolutely amazing. There's no wobbliness, there's no plasticky feel anywhere. It's machined out of metal. It basically feels every inch a premium product, which it kind of should because it was expensive when I initially bought it. And the same is valid for the cheaper MacBook Air as well. They're both machined out of metal. They both feel really cool to use. And props to Apple for making really cool feeling products. Also part of the design, this thing is small and light. And it's actually been one of the most important reasons for me not upgrading to the later 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros. This thing will fit in any backpack, any bag, whatever carry-on case you might have. Cool quick fact, this thing weighs 3 pounds, which is the exact same the 12.9-inch M1 powered iPad Pro weighs when it has the Magic Keyboard attached to it. So this is really a portable device, a go-anywhere kind of computer. And talking about portability, this thing has an incredible battery life. This has been the most important feature for me personally. The efficiency of the M1 has made this into an all-day computer. I do believe that this is still the MacBook that Apple sells that has the most battery life. In quick translation, without looking at any sort of numbers anywhere or any kind of specs, this thing will get you through an entire day's work without issue. As long as you don't push it too far, you don't do too many crazy things with it. If you're doing emailing, browsing, office work, that kind of stuff, this thing will get it done. I've edited many videos on it. Basically, almost everything that's on the channel has been edited on this machine, and I don't think I've had it plugged in while editing more than once or twice throughout the entire times. So the battery life on this thing is absolutely mind-blowing. The best laptop by far that I've ever owned when it comes to lasting the entire day. Talking about performance, yes, the M1 is no longer king of the hill. I don't think it actually was, even when it was launched. There were still some mobile chips that could beat it. Well, today that's clearly the case. There's a lot of options from AMD, from Intel as well, obviously. Not to mention the M1 Pro, M1 Max, and M1 Ultra and Apple's own lineup. However, this thing is still more than capable enough for most tasks if you're going to be using it for browsing, like gaming, office work, editing documents, that kind of stuff. It's going to be absolutely ideal. It can even handle light video editing like I've been doing here on the channel, so the performance is still pretty much up to date. This thing has been superseded by other computers in terms of performance, but it's definitely not what I would call obsolete. Another cool party trick brought on by the M1 is the fact that this thing doesn't sound like a jet engine. I mean, seriously, if you have a toddler next to you sleeping, the last thing you want to happen when you're using your laptop is for the thing to sound literally like a jet engine after using it for a couple of hours. This hasn't been the case here. The fans almost never come on. I've never heard them. I think the only time I've had the fans really come on was when I was playing on GeForce Now. I had forgotten a huge video editing file open in the background, so I had iMovie running with 80 gig library attached to it. That was my problem. The second I closed down iMovie, everything went back to normal. So this has been a very neat party trick. Basically, this thing is completely silent in day-to-day usage, and this is again something you don't really appreciate until you use it. So I sound as if I still absolutely love this thing, which is actually the case. So what gives? Why am I getting rid of it? Well, basically I'm waiting for the M2 successors to come out, the M2 Air and the M2 Macbook Pro entry level, if there is going to be such a thing. And I've actually replaced it in my daily workflow. I'm now editing most of my videos on the 24-inch iMac, and when I need to do editing on the go, I'm going to use my M1 powered 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Stick around, and next week we're going to have a video comparing this to that iPad Pro and tell you which one is better for daily usage. I'm looking to get the replacement for this sometime this year, whenever the new M2 powered machines come out. It may be at WWDC, it may be later in the autumn, I don't really know, but I think it's time for me to move on from this 13-inch Pro. So the last question that I'm going to answer today is, should you still be spending your money on this in 2022? In short, no. Not at least for another month or so. There's a lot of people who are expecting an M2 powered Air to be released at WWDC, perhaps even an entry-level M2 powered Pro as well. Until we know for sure, really don't buy any entry-level MacBook, either this or the MacBook Air. And even after that, if you're looking to choose between this and the Air, probably go with the Air. That's probably the best computer for most people out there. Compared to the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros in Apple's lineup, this isn't really a Pro variant. This is basically a MacBook Air Plus, if you will. Great machine, great computer, but still a little bit short off of the 14-inch model, while not offering a great deal more compared to the MacBook Air. And that's about it. I've absolutely loved my time with this computer. Don't forget that next week I'm putting out a video comparing this and the iPad Pro in day-to-day usage. So if you don't want to miss out on that one, make sure to sub to the channel and turn on the notifications. Also, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video.